Hello, everyone. This is OG. Very happy to be here today to talk about a very important topic that we call Support 2.0. I'm here today with Paul Bates from Uptick, and we want to talk about how you can utilize AI and all the latest advancement in technology to optimize your support model. Paul and I come from very different, let's say, environment. I come from a large corporation, global delivery. Have been doing support all my life, and I've learned a lot of lessons from that. Paul has a very different angle to it, and we felt that it would be great to have a conversation to share, some of the learnings, some of the lesson that we learned by implementing technology inside support environment. Paul, very happy to have you here today.
Cool. Thanks, OJ. So, let's get into it then. So, I think, like you said, we've both come from, support backgrounds. I've worked in the MSP world, supporting SME businesses and enterprise, and you've come from the sort of global enterprise of the global system integrator. So, with that experience, I think the first question we need to discuss today is what are the common challenges with help desk today? What are the common challenges that we see in support organizations?
Yeah. So this is a very typical question, and the idea is to put in context of latest advancement in technology, right? So obviously, what is really a concern normally in a support organization is the overall cost of delivering the support, right? Because obviously we know that the higher the cost here, the lower the profitability of the product or the services that you sell, right? This is very big in the MSP world, but it's also very valid for large corporation, even small corporation, right? So what we know nowadays, and it has been demonstrated, how and when you inject technology is making a huge difference to your cost, right? So we'll talk about that, but cost is a very important concern. The second one, obviously, which is probably the most important in the eyes of the customers, is the quality of the support. And we know nowadays that with automation, with AI, we can resolve issues much faster. We can be way more accurate, and we can have a much higher quality of support, which will impact the satisfaction of the clients, but also we know that this will impact the satisfaction of the resources that are in that support environment, right? So staff satisfaction is critical because you can improve retention slash attrition, and you can facilitate your recruiting, and you can make it way easier. So those are the key point here, that nowadays technology is addressing. The last one for smaller structure, maybe Paul, you can talk about that, is the ability to scale using
Yeah.
technology, right? Being able to handle a lot with very little.
Yeah, I think, that's particularly with MSPs, that's absolutely critical to them. How can we add 3, 4, 10, 20 new clients without adding the same proportionate level of staff to support them? So, I think that's important. But you can also look outside, for example, law firms, accountancy firms. They've got key metrics around the ratio of fee earners to non-fee earners. So it's equally as important. So keeping staff, retaining staff, but also not adding staff at the same rate as you grow in your business is massively important to them.
Yes. So let's roll out to the second question, which is connected here, because I want to have a little bit of tangible points here around how the technology is impacting and how much it is impacting the overall support model, right? So maybe Paul, let's cover the second question here.
So, okay. So when we look at support, we're looking at the pain points, but how do we measure the pain points? How do we measure the success? What are the key performance indicators, the KPIs, which are most critical for measuring help desk effectiveness?
Yeah. So what we know nowadays is that the typical KPIs that are used by operation delivery are going to be impacted by AI and automation, right? So typically, uh, the time it takes to fix a problem, MTTR, right? And I would include response time, right? So those are the typical in a call center, in a support center, in any service delivery environment, how fast you react and how fast you fix the problem. We know this is being improved by a lot when you are using technology. Um, so the time you spend on the overall ticket, so the elapsed time is also going to be impacted quite a lot, right? Sometimes might have tickets that are lasting, hours and days and sometimes weeks. We know now that consistently, when we deploy those technology, those are being improved. The ticket reduction, so reducing the tickets that are handled by human is also a key KPI here. When you introduce technology, when you introduce AI, you see a lot of tickets being handled by what I would call a level zero. We can talk about that more. And those are being handled directly by technology without having a human touching it, which basically impacts the overall amount of overall tickets that a given FTE can touch. Ticket per FTE is also improved. And obviously, customer satisfaction, because all of that, the speed and the quality being improved. At the end of the day, if I have a problem, I don't want to wait for hours for the problem to be fixed. All of that is improved by technology.
Yeah, I think, you mean as well, there's very relevant business metrics that go alongside that as well. So if we look at things like we touched on this in the earlier question, staff retention. If we look at the staff retention for support people, quite often it's low, and that is, I mean, as we know, it's driven by people having to do monotonous things all day, and we can use technology to hopefully make their job role, their day-to-day activity a lot more interesting. Um, if we look at other business metrics, if I look at MSPs as a great example, profit per service or overall profitability at the help desk is significant. I mean, the rate of cost growth versus the rate of revenue growth is important to MSPs as well. And again, something I touched on in the previous question, I've got a lot of experience in delivering IT services into legal. Looking at the ratio of fee earners to non-fee earners is a really, really important business metric. So the more lawyers they can throw at a business, I mean, without having to add IT staff, is a critical KPI for a lot of IT, or sorry, a lot of legal organizations.
Yeah. So this is really important for all of you to understand that all those KPIs and all those pain points that are now being addressed by technology are truly being impacted, right? And we could go, if you're interested, you can reach out to us. We can give you some range, we can give you some, case study. We can go into the details of, why am I doing this AI and why do I need more of this AI in my support environment? And, we have experience. We've seen small scale, large scale, how improved is the overall support model when you roll out technology. So we'll stop there for this question, and we'll have more questions where we'll go into the details of what it means to deploy AI. Thanks, Paul.